AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical on Sierra Nursing. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. LSU tight end Malachi Thomas. He'll be here in about 15 minutes. We'll talk to Brad Crawford about the BCS. No, not the BCS. The College Football Playoff. My goodness, what a deep cut that was. The College Football Playoff semifinal. That'll come up next hour. Gordon McKernan set to join us in hour 3. Get some legal perspective on the DeMond Williams situation. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
We actually will start with an update on as the DeMond Williams world turns. So as a quick catch-up for everybody, if you're not familiar, DeMond Williams is a guy who, for the last 2 years, has been a quarterback at the University of Washington, accounted for 32 touchdowns this year. He was, at one point, the apple of Lane Kiffin's eye, Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr., when he was part of the signing class of 2024. At one point, he was committed to Ole Miss, ended up flipping to Arizona with Jedd Fisch. When Jedd Fisch left for Washington, Williams went into the portal. Kiffin recruited him again, but ultimately Williams went to Washington with Jedd Fisch, where he's been now for the last 2 years. Well, last week, Williams announced that he was staying at the University of Washington instead of going into the transfer portal. As you probably know by now, signed a revenue share agreement to return to the University of Washington. And then a couple of nights ago, we learned that Williams actually intended to enter the transfer portal. Well, the University of Washington's like, oh, no. You signed your rev share agreement. We're not letting you out of this deal. They're pursuing legal action. The Big Ten is supporting the University of Washington in trying to hold DeMond Williams to this contract. Well, there have been two pretty significant advancements in that story here on Thursday. Number one is that Doug Hendrickson has announced he is parting ways with DeMond Williams. Now, if you're not familiar with that name, that's okay. Doug Hendrickson is the president of Wasserman Football. He's an agent at Wasserman, which is an agency, and they represent athletes in lots of different sports. Well, anyway, Hendrickson is the president of Wasserman Football, who was representing DeMond Williams. Posted on social media earlier today, I've made the decision to end my representation of DeMond Williams Jr. effective immediately due to philosophical differences. DeMond is an incredible talent. We wish him and his family the best for their future endeavors. Okay. I know that some people are going to read that and think that Doug Hendrickson had this sort of attack of consciousness and was all of a sudden trying to do the right ethical thing, and we did a deal and you got to honor that deal. I'll remind you that he has done plenty of deals with coaches who had agreed to stay in place and move, namely Jedd Fisch. Oh, did I mention that? Yeah, see, Doug Hendrickson represents Washington head coach Jedd Fisch. Washington head coach Jedd Fisch, who signed a 7-year, $54 million deal a year ago when he showed up in Seattle. That averages $7.75 million. Jed Fish, who, as the head coach at Washington, can funnel a full roster of players at UW to Hendrickson and Wasserman football every year on a pipeline that never stops. Yeah, players like Damon Williams. Why do you think Damon Williams was being represented by Hendrickson? Because that's who represented his head coach, who he trusted. So if you're Hendrickson, do you side with the one player, the one singular player who's trying to get out of his deal, or the head coach who's got a $54 million contract who's funneling you players every single year? It's pretty easy. This isn't some ethical conversation or, as Doug Hendrickson said it in this statement, philosophical differences. This is a business move by Doug Hendrickson. He's siding with his more lucrative lucrative client. I want to remind you, whenever LSU, so let's take it away from Damon Williams for a minute. When LSU was pursuing Lane Kiffin, and there were all these questions about would it be LSU or would it be Florida? Would he stay at Ole Miss? We had this conversation here where I told you over and again, CAA, who Jimmy Sexton works for, CAA wanted Lane Kiffin at LSU. Why? Because you get the LSU coach, you're more likely to get all of the LSU players to be represented by CAA. A lot of times these players are funneled to the agent of their coach. The LSU head coach has not been represented by CAA since Nick Saban. So, yeah, there were a lot of people in that ecosystem, the CAA world, by the way, who also represent Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart, that were pushing Lane to LSU. So, yeah, if you don't think agents have some discretion and influence over these decisions, you're kidding yourself. And, of course, they want to be in a position where they position themselves to make the most amount of money. So don't let this come across like Doug Hendrickson is doing the ethical thing in severing his agreement with Damon Williams and siding with Jed Fish. He's doing the savvy business thing. Now, the other part of this, we knew that, of course, Washington is lawyered up and they're going to pursue legal action, as we've heard that. Well, naturally, Damon Williams is going to do the same thing, as he's fully intending on leaving the University of Washington. And we now know that Damon Williams has retained the services of Darren Heitner. He tweeted, Darren Heitner did, just before noon here on Thursday, "I've been retained as legal counsel for Damon Williams Jr. We have no public comment at this time. Updates will be provided as appropriate." Now, Darren Heitner is an attorney who's based out of South Florida. He's down in Lauderdale. And it's Heitner Law Firm is where it's his law firm. He is the same attorney who represented Xavier Lucas last year in his case against Wisconsin to gain eligibility at Miami. So now, I know some people have seen this because if you read Darren Heitner's bio, he also notes in his Twitter bio that he teaches NIL at Miami Law School. So you have a guy who's in South Florida who teaches law at Miami Law, teaches NIL at Miami Law, who a year ago helped a Wisconsin player get eligible in this same situation at Miami. And when we talk about Damon Williams, I think the other two schools that have been most commonly mentioned in connection with Damon Williams, aside from LSU, are Oregon and Miami. Of course, Miami's playing in the college football playoff semifinal against Ole Miss here on Thursday. But Carson Beck is out of eligibility, and Miami a year ago had Cam Ward via the portal. I mean, they are, this year, Beck via the portal. Like, they are going portal hunting and portal shopping every year for a quarterback, and they still don't have one. So, yeah, it stands to reason that they could try to get into the mix for Damon Williams. We'll see. That's not confirmed really by Damon Williams or anyone in his camp, but it stands to reason. I think the Miami component of this is just a coincidence. This is the guy who, in this same situation a year ago, got his guy eligible. I mean, Xavier Lucas is going to play tonight in the semifinal against Ole Miss. So I think this is exactly who you would want representing you in this case if you're Damon Williams. So as this continues to develop, we'll keep an eye on it. But for LSU, your quarterback options are dwindling. DJ Lagway signed with Baylor here on Thursday. So the highest rated available quarterback in the portal is Williams, along with Dylan Raiola. After that, it's Deuce Knight, the freshman from Auburn, and then Bo Pribula, who's leaving Missouri. So you are getting into some slim pickings now in that quarterback transfer portal market if you don't land Damon Williams. So one that we will all be keeping a very, very keen eye on as this develops. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints as we start a new year. Maybe tonight you're going to be finding your favorite watering hole, favorite sports bar. You'll be watching the college football playoff semifinals. If you're doing that, make sure you drink and grab plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light. Our friends over at McNeese, man, my goodness, they always have something going on. How about these weekend events coming up that are sponsored by Bud Light? The Louisiana Fern Wildlife Festival in Cameron, Louisiana, that's coming up this weekend. You got McNeese men's basketball against Southeastern in Lake Charles. The LSU women's basketball team against Texas at the PMAC. Make sure you have plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. Thursday show is brought to you by Decision Critical. When we return, excited about this. We'll talk to another new Tiger. Malachi Thomas is signed on the dotted line with LSU, coming in from Pitt to play tight end. We'll talk about it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. We tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Hey, remember, over at Clegg's, this is the time. This is the time to make sure you just plant something. You get something in the ground. It is time to play in the dirt. It's time to get those potato plants in the ground. The potato seeds are there. And nothing tastes better than fresh from the garden vegetables and potatoes. So if you want to grow your own vegetable garden, again, those seed potatoes are there right now at Clegg's Nursery. So get out there. If you're not sure what you should be doing, easy. Just ask. Not sure what you should be planting? Just ask. But just plant something. Tons of beautiful bedding plants that love this cool weather. They also have a great selection of citrus trees. Now's the time to get them in the ground. So buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Throws a pick six, and then right away, they take the 2-point conversion back for 2 points. You may never see that again in football.
Here's your 4th and 6 as we hit zeros. And after calling the timeout, Malachi Thomas gets a touchdown reception.
Just out of curiosity, what was the spread?
Malachi Thomas, that is a former Pitt tight end Malachi Thomas, who is now LSU tight end Malachi Thomas. Good enough to join us here on the show. Malachi, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Sounds like you've had a pretty busy week, man. Let's start with a pretty easy one. Why LSU?
I mean, I'm a South Georgia boy. I just love the SEC. And, I grew up watching that 2019 squad, and, been in my heart ever since.
Let's go, man. You have a favorite player in that team?
Justin Jefferson, easy.
So, did you love Jets on that team, or have you loved him since he's been in the NFL?
I loved him on that team.
Yeah, man. They were a lot of fun. Hey, let's talk a little bit, if we could, about your visit, because a lot of these things, we're just learning and they go so rapid fire. How long were you on campus?
I was actually there for a day.
So you're for one day, and did I understand you were expected to take multiple visits?
Yes, sir.
So why ultimately, and you ended up not taking those, right? You ended up committing to LSU and then not going on your other visits?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened here on this visit that made you say, nope, this is the spot?
Okay, so when I touched base, it took me a little minute to get there. you know, I love the facilities, I love the tours, but when I got to talking ball with the tight end coach, Joe Cox, you know, he was just my type of guy. They showed that they didn't get the tight end out in space, and, you know, I thrive in space, and it was just like, yeah, I want to be here. I don't even want to go check out no other spots. Everything is nice. Everything is cool.
So you got to visit with Joe Cox. Who else did you get to visit with while you were here?
I met, of course, Coach Kiffin. I met just some of the like staff boys at LSU, wide receiver coach, running back coach. Coach. Oh yeah.
No, go ahead, please. Yeah.
And coach, the weightlifting coach. Yeah.
Coach Savage, who's the new strength coach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Coach Savage.
If you would tell me a little bit about your impressions of Lane Kiffin.
Coach Kiffin is a cool guy. You know, I was playing pickleball with him. He told me I was doing good. I was like, appreciate it, coach. You know, because that was like my second time ever playing pickleball.
Where were y'all playing pickleball?
They got a little spot in Baton Rouge down the road.
Oh, you were over at Court to Table?
Say what?
That place called Court to Table?
I don't know what it's called.
Big spot with like a restaurant on one side and the pickleball courts on the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right, man. So he takes you over to Court to Table. Like, who won?
Obviously, Lane didn't win. I wasn't playing against Lane.
Wait.
But he was playing against the quarterback that ultimately ended up going to Texas Tech.
Sorsby. So he was playing against Sorsby?
Yes.
Who did you play against?
I played against the special teams coach and the quarterback coach.
All right. How did you do against him?
I think he won one game, lost the other game.
All right. I don't know, man. Y'all were playing doubles?
Yeah.
So who was your teammate?
A recruiting girl. She was very nice. She carried though.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You said she carried you?
Yeah. I did that.
Oh man, I love the transparency. Hey,
yeah.
Did you get to meet Charlie Weiss Jr., OC?
No, I did not.
Okay, he must have been at Ole Miss at that point because they've been going back and forth. When you said you loved when you got down to talking ball with the coaches, what did they tell you about specifically how they would use you in this offense?
So, I'm a tight end that can do everything. So, when you put us in that offense, first off, they say they love their run game, and I love to block. So they could just like put me in hidden formation, do pop passes, just get the easy stuff when you have a tight end that can do everything. And then, like I said, they get the ball open in space, and I thrive from there. So
you said you love to block?
Yes, sir.
How long? So I mean, playing tight end, a lot of guys just like to get their hands on the ball. Has that always been a part of your game, like even back to high school? Or is that something you had to learn when you got to college?
No, that's something I learned in high school. I say about 11th grade. We had got a new coaching staff, and I was trash. I was probably 200 pounds, 6'2" at the time. And he was like, "Yeah, you the new tight end," because I was playing wide receiver. You the new tight end, and they say if you want the ball, you got to block. That's been my mentality ever since.
All right. Malachi Thomas is with us, LSU tight end. You'll get him on Twitter at X at Malachi_2 Thomas. You want to give him a follow? Go give him a shout out there. It's interesting because LSU's got Trey Green there in tow, but the rest of that tight end room, man, it's kind of thin. Did they talk about using multiple tight ends?
Yeah, he talked about using me and Trey, of course.
How did they talk about maybe using both of you at the same time?
We both can catch the ball, receive, block if have to. But he showed me some clips of how to just, setting up blocks with two tight ends out there to get the easy pass. We both could just block a DB, throw him out the way, or put one of us on the seam ball, route one-on-one on the backside, all that type of stuff.
Hey, so when you said they show you clips, so this is something we're all learning, right? I mean, because this coaching staff has been here for about a month or so. So, would they show you clips of the offense they ran at Ole Miss or NFL clips? Or, what clips were they showing you?
They showed me Ole Miss clips.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see because we're all learning, how they're gonna what's gonna transition and transfer over and what how it's gonna look. So it's really interesting. Now there's also the situation right now where LSU's still looking for a quarterback in the portal, as you know. Did LSU not having a quarterback maybe give you any pause?
I mean, nah, not at all. I mean, Kiffin gonna get somebody to throw that rock.
Do you have a preference who it is? Who you catching passes from?
I would love to play with Sam Levitt. I feel like I feel like he bring the LSU vibe.
Yeah, man. Oh, was he here the same time you were?
Nah, he got the day I left at 12, and he got there earlier that day.
Okay, all right. Hey, man, one other thing for you. You said you're about 225 right now?
Oh, no, I'm 240.
Oh, so all right, because I see you're listed on the Pitt website at 6'4", 225. So you're 6'4", 240 right now?
Yes, sir.
Did they say, did Coach Savage tell you, what he wants you to play at? Like, they want you at that size? They want you bigger, smaller? Did they tell you anything like that?
No, they didn't, but I'm hoping to play at 245.
Okay, so about where you are right now, maybe just a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
Good deal, man. What was your favorite part about being in Baton Rouge? Short visit, but what was your favorite part about being in Baton Rouge and on campus?
My favorite part, the fans. We went into a couple restaurants, fans treated LSU like that's their team, only team in the state, even though, we got the Saints. But everybody, fans, it's a fan town for sure.
Are you a Falcons fan?
I am.
Oh, man, golly. This was going so well too, Malachi. But that's all right. You're gonna be wearing the purple and gold, which is great, and we'll have to convert you to the black and gold as well while you're here. Teach you how to say who dat and all that good stuff. Maybe eventually. All right. I say we got a Lombardi. All right. The Falcons don't have one. All y'all did was blow a 28-3 lead.
Oh, that's a low blow right there.
I had to, man. I mean, I'm purple and gold, but I'm black and gold too, man.
Y'all versus the Rams, that offensive PL call. I wish y'all got that back too, right?
See, all right, that's fine. I deserve that, all right? If I dish it out, I got to be able to take it as well. But
yeah.
But at least we were there.
What?
I said at least we were there, and we didn't. We didn't waste a top 10 pick on a quarterback after giving another quarterback $250 million.
Ooh.
You want to go? We can go all day, Malachi. You want to go? We can go all day. How about that?
I mean, we have the best. We have way more offensive weapons than y'all. Our team is just better. We just looking for the right coach. Gonna get a better coach. You feel what I'm saying?
Man, I don't know. I just watched the Saints outgain the Falcons by 200 yards this past weekend with basically me and my producer playing receiver for New Orleans. Get ready, man. Tyler Shuck about to bring it to y'all for the next decade.
All right.
Hey, man, this was fun. I appreciate you for taking a few minutes. Congrats. Hey, so are you back home in Georgia now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so when do you get back here? I guess for the start of the semester. Yeah, it's got to be soon.
Yeah, next week. I'm be here next week.
Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, congrats on your decision. Welcome to Baton Rouge, man. All the best. Good health and continued success. All right, thanks for the time today.
Thank you. Hey, January the 4th, Sunday, 19 versus 17, final.
Oh, that was.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
I'll take it, man. That was what is he throwing out there? He's throwing a Saints-Falcons score. Fine. You know what? You want a game among bottom feeders? Hey, if we're just talking about the past, because that's in the past now, how about we talk about Super Bowl 44? How about we talk about that?
Ooh,
how about we talk about that?
You got it.
Let's go.
You got it.
All right, man.
You got it.
Hey, be well. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Guys out there throwing out the score from this past Sunday. All right. You know what? If we're just talking about games that happened in the past, all right, throw out 28-3. Throw out Super Bowl 44. Can't trump either of those. I mean, I got the trump card. You know what I mean? He's out here throwing darts. I'm throwing dynamite. That's what's happening there.
Yeah. I mean, you can't come back from 28-3.
Or the Saints winning a Super Bowl.
Or you not having a Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's trump card. It's over. That's it. All right. It's after further review. He was fun, man. Appreciate him for a couple of minutes. Brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, parishrestoration.com. I think it's sanitized as well. So if you had water intrusion, have mold, think you might, Parish Restoration can help you out. Remember, they are, just so you understand the process, when you call or you go to the website, you fill out the form, it'll give you your estimate. But So they have these Sprinter vans where the tubing, the hosing runs through the Sprinter van. So, I mean, they just pull the Sprinter van up to your home or to your business, and then they just uncoil the hose that go throughout your house. They spray the fog, close up all the doors and the windows. It gets into every nook and cranny, touches everything, kills all the mold down to the spores. If there's harmful pathogens, kills dozens of those as well. All the bacteria that causes odor, so pet odor, smoke odor, sweat odor, they can get rid of all that. It's Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. All right, y'all, it's AFR, Thursday edition presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. LSU did add a place kicker on Wednesday night. Give you a thought on that. We'll go around the SEC. We do have, speaking of the Saints, Pro Football Focus has put out their 2025 quarterback ranking. So the rankings of the quarterbacks that played in the NFL this season. I'll tell you where Tyler Shuck landed. That's coming up in 30 minutes from right now. We'll go around the SEC next on AFR.
After further review.
REV. Let's rev. Let's rev. Let's rev. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Rev. Man, I really love telling you about Rev. They're an awesome business, and I can tell you about Rev because I'm actually a Rev customer. Here at Guarantee Media, we are Rev customers here at Guarantee Media. At Parish Construction and Roofing, we are Rev customers at Parish. As a matter of fact, Terrio's on one of the commercials for Rev because we're a Rev business client. So it doesn't matter if you need internet, speeds up to 5 gigs, all fiber network, local call center, local support center. Let's rev.com, let's rev.com, let's rev.com. Internet, home automation, cable services. They can do all that. And they're better than anyone else that you use presently. So if you're not with Rev, it's time to switch. Check them out online, letsrev.com. REV, letsrev.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Okay, we'll go around the SEC in just a second, but the question I've been asked more than anything else is, hey, man, Lane knows he's sitting 7-on-7, right? Where are the linemen? Where's the quarterbacks and the linemen? Well, breaking news here. Breaking news. LSU got a commitment from an offensive lineman. Hey, all right. Jaquan Sprinkle has committed to the LSU Tigers. He's out of North Carolina Central, so that's a MEAC school, so that's an FCS program. But Jaquan Sprinkle, big guy, commits to the Tigers. The quick bio on Sprinkle, 6'3", 295. He's a redshirt sophomore, so he just finished his third year of college. You look at his time there at NC Central, 27 games played over 3 seasons, played in 4 games in 2023, 11 in 24, 12 this past season. So big dude that has played an awful lot of football. He played tackle there at NC Central. So, one of the things I'll tell you in some of the convos that I have had with, I think this is going to make sense. Some of the convos I've had with folks around LSU that have had the opportunity to be there at football ops and watch the way that Kiffin and Billy Glasscock sort of work and evaluate and put together their board and assign values is they are very disciplined with and very committed to their process. And so they put an evaluation together on a player and they trust their evaluation. And based on that evaluation, what value they assign to that player. And a lot of it's based on position. So, okay, like what's the most important position? Well, quarterback. Well, what do they value after quarterback? My understanding is they think like defensive line is massively important because if you're able to pressure the quarterbacks, they don't believe there's enough quarterbacks like in the SEC that could make big-time throws under pressure. The majority couldn't. So It's like quarterback, then defensive line, protecting the quarter. So offensive line next. So basically, you can see how they're prioritizing things. Anyway, think about, I know it might sound odd to go, okay, well, NC Central, not a big-time player. Wouldn't you rather go get someone from an offensive lineman who hit the portal from Texas or Bama or Michigan or something like that? Maybe, but this goes back to like, would you rather the guy that's the high star rating coming out of high school that sat a year wherever he was, or a guy that's played 3 years of football at NC Central that fits the profile of what their evaluation is looking for? That's kind of the example of trusting your evaluation. And the analogy I would give is, think about the NFL. Like, how many times do you see this in the NFL where you have like a Jermon Bushrod from Towson, right? Like a Jari Evans from Bloomsburg, a Teron Armstead from Pine Bluff. I'm just using Saints examples because I'm using guys that we would know here. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt you see Kelvin Banks from Texas, but think about how many times you've seen small school guys where you were looking at identifying a skill set that you think will translate. This is very much the way Kiffin and Glasscock put together their evaluation. It's very much like how an NFL front office works. So I think this is a pretty clear example. Look, you took a wide receiver from Old Dominion. You've now taken an offensive lineman from NC Central. Suffice to say, you can find good players anywhere if you're digging and truly evaluating the skill set that you're looking for, if you trust your evaluation. And they do. So, you're going to see the Saints, excuse me. Now I'm programmed to think NFL. You're going to see LSU go after Chaz Coleman from Penn State. You're going to see him go after Trey Wilson, former 5-star wide receiver. When those guys make sense and you have a relationship and you can potentially get those guys here, absolutely. But you're also going to see this type of situation where they are scouting far and wide, high and low for players everywhere to find a player that fits their evaluation at the right price as well. So Tigers finally have an offensive lineman in tow, Jaquan Sprinkle from NC Central. We'll talk more about the offensive line and quarterback, stuff like that a bit later in the show. But it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a second. LSU did also have a place kicker. I want to talk about that. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. I actually got in the car this morning, was backing out the driveway. Ding! My oil change light came on my dash. Looks like a trip to Shaw Bills is in my very near future. So whether it's name brand tires at wholesale prices or you need anything done to your vehicle, maybe you need the oil change, maybe the brakes are squeaking, maybe you need to change your wiper blades. When was the last time you changed your wiper blades? Get those streaky wiper blades every time it rains. It's supposed to rain, by the way, tonight and all day Friday. Make sure if you have anything you need done to your vehicle, you bring it to Shaw Bills. With locations all over South Louisiana, they'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they'll treat you like family to keep you coming back year after year after year. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Oklahoma set to hire Jason Witten as their new tight ends coach. Of course, the former NFL tight end who spent the last 5 years as the head coach at Liberty Christian in Argyle, Texas. Joe John Finley was fired earlier this month after 5 seasons coaching tight ends at his alma mater. Of course, Witten is the Cowboys legend and retired from the NFL after the 2020 season. He's future Hall of Famer and now a tight ends coach at OU.
The Texas Longhorns.
Freshman wide receiver Jamie French, remember him, announced his intention to enter the transfer portal. He was the number 44 overall prospect in the country when he signed with Texas in the class of 2024. He was a top 10 wide receiver. LSU was in the mix to the very end for French when ultimately he picked Texas, maybe one to watch.
Texas A&M!
Defensive lineman Dalen Evans, he is set to enter the transfer portal. On3 was the first to have the news. Played 2 games this season as a freshman. He redshirted just 141 snaps for the program. I'm sorry. As a freshman, he played in 2 games. This year, as a redshirt freshman, played 141 snaps. So a little bit of an increase. He was a 4-star recruit, a top 100 overall player in the country. Dalen Evans hitting the portal.
The Florida Gators.
Edge Jaden Woods is returning for his sophomore season. Took a visit to Texas, but didn't commit. John Sumrall and the new staff re-engaged, and they're able to keep Jaden Woods there in Gainesville for 2026.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia Tech receiver Isaiah Canyon has committed to Georgia. 6'4", 215, got 2 years of eligibility remaining. He's ranked the 26th best player overall in the transfer portal and the 6th best receiver.
The Missouri Tigers.
And Mizzou landed a starting offensive tackle out of the Big 12. Josh Atkins is transferring from Arizona State to Mizzou. Played in over 1,500 snaps for the Sun Devils the last 2 years. He's the number 15 offensive tackle in the portal. He's headed to Mizzou. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, not just in Baton Rouge. The website is decisioncriticalbr.com, but they are no longer just Baton Rouge. As a matter of fact, their nurses go all over the state of Louisiana. The Dallas office is open as well. So if you need concierge nursing, you need Decision Critical. I told you over the Christmas break, Erica got strep, called Decision Critical. I love telling the story. It was a Sunday night. So this was the Sunday after Christmas. Called Decision Critical on a Sunday night about 6 p.m. and thinking, all right, I'm going to get the answering service. I got Blasia Rivette, the CEO of the company, had the line answered or forwarded to her. So she answered the call at 6 o'clock on a Sunday night, scheduled because I wanted to get Erica an IV infusion to get, because she was in bed for 3 days and was super dehydrated, hadn't been eating, needed to get her some fluids, get her feeling better. The next morning, boom, nurse was at our house bright and early, gave Erica the IV right there on the couch. Excellent service, whether it's IV therapy or anything you may need. Maybe you need nurses at your house to help, you're home with a newborn and you're not sleeping. Well, their nurses can come help through the night so you all can sleep and be your best during the day. Maybe it's end-of-life care. Maybe you're home after surgery and you need help post-operatively in-home. Whatever it is, Decision Critical, their expertly trained nurses can help. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, it's after further review. The Tigers did also add another specialist. So 3 specialists they were able to add on Wednesday. Punter and long snapper from the University of Florida. And they had the place kicker from Arkansas. I was able to confirm this with Scott Starzyk. He confirmed the news to me. We broke the news over at LouisianaSports.net. Starzyk will effectively be the front runner to be Damian Ramos' successor. So Starzyk signs with LSU. He's going to join us on the show, but he said, man, I got to find a place to live. So we'll see if we can get him tomorrow or another day. He was 14 of 18 this year. Made all 47 extra points that he attempted this year at Arkansas. He had 2 kicks from beyond 50, made a 53-yarder. That was the longest kick by a freshman in Razorback history. So LSU's got Starzyk and Sean Perrette, who's a walk-on from in-town from Catholic High, who's also on the roster as well. So they'll go battle it out for the place-kicking job and then any incoming freshmen as well. But Scott Starzyk added to the roster as well. Okay, quick break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. Actually, I have a tasty little baseball nugget for you when we come back. We'll do that. And in about 15 minutes, Pro Football Focus, their NFL quarterback rankings for the 2025 season are out. Some fascinating takeaways we'll get into, including where Tyler Shuck falls on the list. Brad Crawford's here in about 30 minutes. Talk a little bit about the CFP semifinals. Man, we got a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. The Watermark, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225. Absolutely gorgeous spot if you've never been. I cannot recommend highly enough if you've not been to the Watermark. Matt, why would I go hang out at a hotel? You just have to trust me here. The Watermark is a landmark building in downtown Baton Rouge. The original high-rise, the old Louisiana National Bank building. It's been converted into the Watermark Hotel. So they've maintained so much of the historical significance of this building while adding modern amenities. The guest rooms are gorgeous. I mean, this is a luxury hotel. Beautiful place for a staycation if you want to go stay in downtown Baton Rouge. I got an event coming up in a few weeks in downtown Baton Rouge. A lot of people part of that event are going to be staying at Watermark. So if you don't want to drive home, you could just walk to the hotel. And if you're having any event in 2026, make sure you call Allison Crump and see about hosting it at Watermark Baton Rouge.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Wrapping up hour number one, the defending national champs are starting right where they finished. A Perfect Game has put out its preseason college baseball top 25 poll, and your Fighting Tigers of LSU are the preseason number one team in the country. So Jay Johnson squad's won 2 out of the last 3 national championships. You know that much. The interesting thing, I was having a conversation last night with let's say somebody close to the program. Don't need to say who it is. But the very strong feeling over there right now is that this is the most talented team Jay has had since he's been here. And maybe that seems like hyperbole. And I think what's important to know is you think back to 2023, and you had undeniably like the elite level top tier talent. I mean, you had Skeens and Cruz on that team, obviously. And yes, there were some other fantastic players that will be big leaguers. But you had a lot of guys that were gamers, that were program guys. Obviously Josh Pearson had a really strong role in that team. Cade Beloso, guys that aren't necessarily projected to be professional. I mean, saw Cade last night, as a matter of fact. That's not who I was talking to, by the way. But he's not playing ball anymore. He's moved on in his career. But point being, when you look top to bottom in this roster, this is going to be the most talented roster that Jay has assembled during his time in Baton Rouge. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a championship. You look at A&M. I mean, I think we could all argue A&M is probably among, if not the most talented roster in the country last year. A&M, Arkansas were right there in that convo. The team 3 years ago from Tennessee might have been the most talented team any of us have seen. They had one of the most dominant seasons any of us had ever seen. They lost to home super regional, so to Notre Dame. So just because you have the most talented roster doesn't mean you're going to win. But my goodness, watching Jay bring that squad together a year ago to win a national championship, and now you follow that up with this squad, it is going to be an awful lot of fun to watch this baseball team. So preseason number one in the country from Perfect Game for Jay Johnson's Tigers as they try to go back-to-back. Something the Tigers have only done once. You want to talk about how like absurdly lofty the expectations are within LSU baseball. They've only gone back-to-back once. That's it. Like, that's just a thing that should happen, right? I mean, expectations drive that program. But looking forward to seeing Jay Johnson, the squad, get out there here at the end of this month to start practice and getting geared up for the 2026 baseball season, see if they can defend their national championship. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake. Of course, plenty NIL deals with LSU baseball Tigers, LSU football Tigers, basketball Tigers. We'll tell you much more about the baseball NIL deals as we get closer to baseball season. But Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. I say it every day. They are synonymous. When you think of LSU, you should think Our Lady of the Lake. When you think Our Lady of the Lake, you should think LSU. They are synonymous with each other. LSU doesn't have any greater partner than the folks over at Our Lady of the Lake for so many reasons. Not only when you think about the way that they've supported LSU financially with NIL deals, agreeing to the naming rights of the new basketball arena, but also the way that Our Lady of the Lake supports LSU student athletes. Whenever there's an injured player on the court, the dime, the field, the physicians running out there are Our Lady of the Lake physicians to care for the student athletes, but also the students on campus with the Student Health Center contract, and everyday champions in and around Baton Rouge, and of course all across Louisiana as part of the FMOL health system. You want to learn more about that championship health partnership, all the ways and details, you can go to the website, ololrmc.com/LSU, ololrmc.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. All right, it's After Further Review, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Coming up after SportsCenter, we're going to get to the Pro Football Focus quarterback rankings for the 2025 NFL season. Where did Tyler Shuck fall in that? We'll get to it here in just a little bit. Tonight, it is, of course, Ole Miss and Miami in the college football playoff semifinal, winner off to the national championship game. It's pretty fascinating when you think about it. The winner of tonight's game, one of two very rare things is going to happen. The winner of this game tonight will play in the national championship game with a coach that did not start the season as the head coach, or a team will play in the national championship game in its home stadium while wearing visitor uniforms, because Miami will be the lower seed no matter which team they play from the other side, be it Indiana or Oregon. So either way, we're going to see something at the likes of which we've never really seen. And my goodness, I shouldn't say never, because Miami has played in Orange Bowls before, which was their home stadium in championship games. So but in this era, in the playoff era, we haven't seen this before. So it's going to be fascinating theater. Kickoff at 6:30 Central tonight. We are going to preview that game with Brad Crawford coming up here in about 20 minutes from right now. All right, SportsCenter's coming up. We get you caught up on national headlines. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Relief Windows. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters, too. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. I got to call Relief Windows, as a matter of fact. I'm glad I actually just thought about this, because I was going to tell you about siding. And Eric and I got home on Sunday evening, a quick trip we made to Vegas, pulled into the garage, and as we're pulling in the garage, you can notice like the siding above the garage, there's a little piece of the siding missing. So need to call Relief Windows, get them out to the house. But the bottom line is, you want to make your home more energy efficient? Energy efficient replacement windows can do that. They also have hardy plank and vinyl siding as well. It is a great product. If you install that hardy plank siding, that comes finished in your favorite color, whatever color you want, so you're done. You never have to paint it, won't chip, crack, peel, any of that stuff. It's fire resistant as well, and it's energy efficient. So it's going to make your home more energy efficient and safer. And if you want to see what it looks like, instead of just looking at one little sample, they have 3D models where you could look at your entire home, what it would look like with that siding. Check them out, reliefwindows.com.